consulting group that helps us discuss, plan, and build generational wealth. So, I like to tell you a little bit about what I know about our guest. She has done extremely thorough studies on wealth building, a new way of creating and maintaining wealth for you and your family, for leaving generational wealth to your children, for taking care of your parents, making sure your children can go to college. I'll let her tell you, but it is incredible. So great that the people were asking, who is this? Can you bring her back? So, Bianca Gregory, I'd like to bring you to the forefront and let you tell us who you are.
Whew. Well, hello everyone. Good evening. On my last visit, we had a bit of technical difficulties, but I'm back, so hopefully have a better time this time. But I am the co-founder of Infinite Legacy Financial Consulting, and our company basically helps people evaluate and improve their current financial situations and plan for their future. This involves all facets of finances, not just investments, not just savings, but how we can use those things to create wealth, not just for us, but for our families as well.
Now, the thing I'm interested in, and I'm sure our guests our audience is interested in as well. First of all, let me just say how beautiful you are,
Thank
and I love when I see beauty and intelligence exude from a human being, but especially a beautiful woman. And the in the research that you've done with this particular brand you've created, Infinite Legacy. I've never seen anything like it to the degree that you have done it. So um, I just want to ask you about your own personal experience
you. Okay.
with building the Infinite Legacy.
Well, first, my legacy starts because I am a mom, I am a wife, and I have 7 children. So anybody who has more than one child knows some things can get a little difficult from time to time. So in my research, I was asking the question, how do I prepare for their future? How do I help them? And so in researching all of that and finding out more information, I come to find out that there is wealth for and in our children. That was step one. And as I started asking more questions, I found out there was wealth and more for family members. And then as I did more research, I wanted to know why some of us have generational wealth and do it easy, and why others have a hard time or it's been made difficult. I have found some uncomfortable truths, and I made it my point and my goal to dispel the myths and map out a plan. Let's see how it's supposed to be done. So even with my own family, we have to design, we have to customize, we have to go through, we have to examine, we have to know our numbers. All of these things I have to practically apply. So if I can do it with everything that I have going on, I said, don't keep this to yourself. Make sure you share with as many people as possible.
Awesome. Now, it's interesting that you, first of all, that you and your husband are able to manage a household with 7 children.
Yes.
And I'm sure you've gone through a process. I'm sure the things that you were doing at the first child are probably not the things that you're doing now with 7.
Absolutely.
But but ultimately, I want to ask the question, how important is it to eliminate destructive expenses,
Mm,
things that pull from the household, um, manage all the consumption, and I know you have to buy a lot of groceries and
yeah.
things like that,
Yeah.
and increase productive expenses while building this legacy, this infinite legacy you speak of. How do you
So
do that?
when it comes to my family, how we shop, how we grocery shop is a big deal. We coupon as much as we possibly can. All those little clipping coupons and things that people think don't matter actually do come in handy. Sometimes it's better to buy in bulk depending on what the item is. So a lot of those details are what I do as mom in the house. So all of the
Right.
listing and all of the priority that is given to money has often designated what goes where when. If parents have to come last because kids have to come first, there are orchestra instruments, there are payments for this, there are all of these things. So organization is the first challenge that I had to overcome.
Absolutely.
Let me find out exactly what's going on, because I know I'm looking at more tentacles than the average person. So I have to keep up
Right.
with me, my husband, and all of them. And so it creates its own picture when you realize what you're dealing with and how you have to sort through those things. It makes you
Right.
chart, it makes you
Right.
list, it makes you question how much this cost, or how much did we spend on this? Or we went on vacation to Universal Studios in Clearwater, Florida about 2 years ago now.
Right.
And
Right.
just the expenses of that alone by the number, it made us find the deals, find the discounts, find the this, find the that, because we still should be able to travel. We just got to change the way we do it.
And vacation and with all of
Yes,
your children.
with everyone.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's a task.
I get it. I can understand. Now you mentioned some things that are on the minds of probably most of our audience who heard you before. You said something about a peace of mind account, wealth creation account, and living wealthy account. Now, how can you explain like the ideal setup for doing something that when you're trying to create an infinite legacy? How do you set those accounts up? This sounds like money that you put aside so that you can grow into it. Was am I correct?
Okay, hold on. First, let's get our mindset in order, because we have to
Hmm.
change the way that we think about money. So
Okay.
the overall goal that we have is to eliminate destructive spending,
Hmm.
manage consumptive expenses,
Right.
and increase productive expenses. Those are a couple different things. We can get into it as we go along. If we
Right.
understand that destructive expenses create poverty and debt, if we can understand that
Right.
protective expenses do what they say and protect us, and then if
Right.
we realize that productive expenses are expenses that increase our wealth, then that gives us proper placement to what we're spending where.
Wow. You
So if
you
we can,
sound like and I know you've this is well thought out and you've done your research. People ultimately don't kind of think that way, and you're right. We do have
mhm,
to change our mindsets. And I
mhm,
remember you speaking about changing the mindset. You and the other guest speaker, Dr. Brother Minister Zumbi
mhm,
Shawala, were both mentioning how we all need to change our mindset just as a culture so that we can create the wealth. And you provide the solution for how to create the wealth. And one of the things that you just mentioned is setting up accounts,
mhm,
one to protect you, one for generate wealth generation, and one for to manage, all of these expenses. We have a tendency, just as Americans, to overindulge in
mhm,
spending, and we overspend. We use credit incorrectly, and I know you're going to touch on that. And we put ourselves in a deficit just coming out, going into
mhm,
life.
mhm, mhm,
And the way things are set up, it seems like we're destined for destruction. And you're offering a solution about, look, I know the way you see things out there, it looks like that, but think about this. Why are you in so much debt? It's a trap. Get out of it. You mentioned that the last time. So
yeah.
um, go ahead, expand on that.
Okay, so first I want to put the notion. We're going to have to do some transforming of the mind. We're going to have to do some unknowing the things that we've been taught. Let's change our
Mhm.
mind about money first. Money versus time. That's always the method. I want more of my time back and to be able to keep more of my money. So the
Mhm.
way we have to think about that is we want to reclaim our time, because our time is more valuable than money. And what do we
Okay.
do with the money? We make the money work for us instead of doing the work. This is the
I like
first step to wealth building. You have to understand money differently. You're not working to pay bills. That is not what we're supposed to be doing.
right.
And for the crowd that we're probably talking about right now, we have, been bred into the tradition and go to college, buy a house, have all this debt accruing on you, and hopefully you can pay it off and send your kids to college. That's antithetical to what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
especially when we do that separately
Mhm.
um, from other family. A lot of the wealth that is earned or owned in this country is family wealth. So that's the second step. Once we get our understanding about we making money work for us, now we have to incorporate our family. This is how wealth is built.
Right.
So when I talk about the account setups, this makes you think bigger than your current situation. It makes you think bigger than just your present situation. It makes you contemplate what's been going on in the past that's affecting your finances, what's going on currently that's affecting your finances, and what you would like for your finances to do in the future. So these accounts set those time periods up. Your peace of mind account is your emergency account. That's if something happens, you have something. We've all been through COVID. We've all seen what that can do. We've all had unreliable situations, a car breaks down or something like that. For some of us, that can be a financially devastating event. So we always would like to have a peace of mind account where we know if anything happens, we can go to our cookie jar and we can make it a better solution. The second account we talk about is your wealth creation account. In this account, it houses how much your income right now, how much you're bringing in, or your family, a married couple is bringing in.
Mhm.
It is your wealth creation fund at the same time. And
Mhm.
it's another place for you, like I was saying on the last episode, to make your debt more efficient.
Mhm.
So you can uh, restructure how you're attacking your debt in a way that pays it off faster and eliminates interest charges that drag payments out for long periods of time. So when we're
Mhm.
paying on $500 for something for however many years, that's a drain to our cash flow. If we could eliminate that debt, we can see that we could free up more money. So these accounts allow you to separate those things so you can see exactly what's going on. You have your safety box and anything that I want to work on right now. Now I'm weaponizing my money to work on my behalf against debt or interest or anything else that may be draining you or driving you towards more poverty or more debt. I
So
hope
your wealth um, creation account is different from your living wealthy account?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Could you explain
So
it?
this is another form of discipline and control.
Mhm.
Oftentimes, when we spend a lot of money and we finally want to do something for ourselves, it becomes a rash thing. I want this, I paid this, I spent all of this money, I can never get anything for myself. And sometimes we jump and make rash decisions or buy things out of impulse or
That's right.
retail therapy or whatever it may be called. That is not the way that that's supposed to happen. You are supposed to be rewarded for your work. So your living wealthy account allows you a certain percentage based on how your numbers look that you can enjoy guilt free because it's already been accounted for. It's unrealistic to try to just pay bills and not spend any money, but it does
Thank
help with the discipline and the rewarding of yourself, knowing that you've taken care of your responsibilities and I still have something over here for me on the side.
you. Love it. I mean, that is incredible. Um, you know, the fact that you mentioned that people um, feel guilty for spending money, and it's usually because they don't really have it to spend because they didn't
Hmm.
put it aside to spend. And when they spend it, they're touching something else. So
Yeah.
to have a fund,
Yes.
this is sort of like what we have, you know, we put money in that, and that's just for okay. I want to get my hair cut. I want to get some clothes. I want to buy some shoes. We just want to eat out or whatever. That's a whole nother
And
fund. Just and then
there
the
are
whole
other
family has
ways. There are other ways that that can be done
it.
as well. It's not about living below. It's about living abundantly. So if
Mm,
you hear the example that you just gave, what I said was the living wealthy account is a reward. I said the
okay.
wealth creation account is supposed to make your loans more efficient. So as your loans get more efficient, what happens to your living wealthy?
Hmm.
That's
So
why we
what you're
want to
saying is
eliminate that.
once you got the stuff taken care of and the debt paid down, then you can take that money that you have extra now and put it in your, oh my goodness. Yeah,
or do,
that's
or do something else with it, or
right.
continue to pay debts down. Just because one thing is eliminated doesn't mean all things are eliminated. But what
Right.
happens is, as we're paying, I meant to bring the monopoly money up here, as we're paying things out, right, it's
Hmm.
draining our cash flow. When you go to work every month and you make $5,000 a month and you spend $4,500 a month paying everybody else, and you only have $500 a month to eat, get to work, gas, lunch if you don't pack it, and that's all you have left, that's slavery. That's not how we're supposed to be living.
That's what
So,
it is. That's what it is.
the
So
goal is to reclaim your cash
come
flow.
on, come on. Good God. I mean, it's a very simple thing to think about when you think about it, but most people just don't think about it. They just fall into,
Mhm.
college right out of high school, fall right into marriage, fall right into having children, and they didn't think about the future. So they didn't plan for it. And
Well,
then
we're
they're
not
just surviving. They're
we're
not
not
thriving.
educated we're not educated to have a plan of wealth creation upon graduating from high school. We are not
Right.
educated in that. If our family is not knowledgeable, if we do not have other mentors that could show us better ways, if we do not have programs like Infinite Legacy Financial Consulting to break these things down, we are not prepared for adulthood. So these are the issues that are sending the kids back home now, where they need a little bit more time because they weren't
Hmm.
properly prepped before they were sent out
Hmm.
the door. So
Right.
going to college is not the time for your child to leave the house. If
Wow.
this is about wealth creation, they need to have it too. Otherwise, if they come back, it's going to drain your wealth,
Yeah.
and that doesn't
And
make any sense.
I know this is aside from the subject, but
Mhm.
what is interesting to me now that you mentioned having to come back home is the and draining the parents' resources. And
Mhm.
these are all choices, poor choices, I would say, because you have a choice to say, No, child, I've given you the best I can. It's been 18 years. You got to get out of the nest."
Mhm.
However, if you the word of God says if you train up a child in the way they should go, they should not will not depart from it. So you haven't trained them in the way they should go, is what you're
Right.
saying.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's a what do you call it? Indoctrinated
Yes.
thought that the children should leave at 18.
Yeah.
That we don't have to adhere to that at
Mm.
all. We can change that right now, from this generation right now. And if you do have expectations of your child, then the expectation that the child should have of the parent is that you prepare me for me to go.
Whew. So true.
If
My
I'm not
goodness.
prepared, I'm going to come back to you and say, what happened? Because I didn't know anything about this. I was not prepared for this.
There you
And
go.
relying on the school system to teach them, it's only now in certain areas becoming mandatory for kids to graduate from high school having passed some type of economics class or some type of financial literacy class. That's only now. And my son is not even 16. So my oldest son. So if that's the case, we're going to have to start doing that from this generation so our kids can teach their kids, and we have to break this cycle of following what hasn't worked for us.
Well, can we just stop right now and
Okay.
give thanks to God for you and thanks to God for you that you have done the research to show us finally how this can possibly be done after all of these many, many years. And just thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for Infinite Legacy for offering us options and being here to teach us how we can do this. You
Yes,
know,
you have an option.
um, whew, this is a lot. This is critical, and the
Hmm.
fact that the children are leaving home unprepared, the parents are unprepared going into marriages and homes and spending all this money on these weddings,
Hmm.
exorbitant weddings, $50,000 weddings, and they have never been to any kind of finance counseling or put even check their own credit records with
Mhm.
among each other,
Mhm.
or talked about whether they want to have children and how many children. They don't even have these conversations. So why are we getting married? I don't get that one. But
Again, oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I was
go
getting ready
ahead.
to
No, go
answer it.
ahead.
Go ahead.
You can. Go ahead.
The further the indoctrination goes and the less education, the more room is left for us to just figure it out. So if we're watching TV and we're figuring it out and say, "Oh, I want that because I don't know any better," or "Oh, my family did that, so I'm not going to do that," and go the extreme opposite way, there is still no standard basis for how the overall picture is supposed to look. The same instruction that we have: graduate, go to college, get a job, buy a house, have kids, retire, is the same way and list that we're supposed to have for our financial operations post 18. And
Yes.
we haven't done it. So I did it because it hasn't been done.
Well,
So
thank you again. Thank you.
it
And
was
it's a
bothering.
shame
It
that it
was bothering.
hasn't been done.
Like
We've been here all these years. I'm sorry.
even when you do become employed,
Mhm.
that indoctrination continues.
Continues.
They
Yes.
tell you where to put your money. They tell you they're going to match your money. You don't even know what your money is invested in.
Hmm.
So if that goes bad, what happens to your money? These are things that people have to find out through some of the more recent financial crises. People have realized how far down their 401k has gone, or what has happened to the money that they thought they were going to have at retirement. People are
Mm.
suffering because they
Yes.
did what they told them to do. They didn't know any better.
Right.
And so we've wasted generations, even in this lifetime, generations of wealth potential, but we're giving all of our work life to a company that does not have our best interests at heart.
Ooh.
And I don't want to burst your bubble, but if you're hesitant about some of the things that we're discussing as far as wealth creation, let me let you know that those same companies that are supposed to be matching you for your retirement have
Uh-huh.
policies out on you in case anything was to happen. So their wealth will continue whether you're alive or not.
Do you know? I'm glad you mentioned that. Let me tell you what happened a couple of years ago. I think it was on 60 Minutes. I was watching an episode where a gentleman had died on the job or at the job. While he
Hmm.
was at the job, he had a life insurance policy, and years later, his son or something like that discovered that the company had an insurance policy on him. So when he died, they collected.
Hmm.
Now, that should be shocking to
But
people,
it's not.
but just so you know, it happens all the time, and there is a way you can go online and check to see if someone has an insurance policy on you so that you can,
Hmm.
sue them
Going
and
on.
get your instant wealth, but it is true that this happens on a regular. Now, um, your company has a debt tool
Yes.
called Diced. What does DICED
Okay.
stand for?
DICE.
DICED.
DICE is an acronym for how you are supposed to identify your numbers. So diced, DICED. The first D in diced, you want to know your debt. That's what that D stands for. Know your debt, how much your total debt is. I stands for income. That's all the money that you're bringing in, all the money that you have saved up that's not growing. Um, C is for cash flow, and that's the money that you have left over after all of your expenses. E is your expenses. How much money do you have coming out? And D stands for debt tool. This is the thing that you will use to make your loans more efficient or eliminate your debt. Period.
Wow. So when a person understands their cash flow and they start to remove all of the little pebbles in the way that are keeping their cash flow from flowing,
Hmm. Hmm.
this is a tool that they can remember. Do I have I addressed this? Like, so if a husband and wife talk about expenses, they know they got this, they got to get diced up At the
Dice it up.
table, pull your stuff out, see what you got before you even get
Chop it up.
married.
Chop it down.
Yeah,
Break it down. Break it down.
yeah, yeah.
That's the whole
Because
point.
because
That's
when
why I
my
use
husband
that.
and I got married, one of the first things he asked me was for my credit report, and I said, "You're not getting that." I was ignorant at the time.
Believe it
I
or not,
did
most people don't know.
eventually.
A lot of people
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
But
It's an.
go ahead.
Let me ask you some of the books that you have read, or the people that you acknowledge for the information that you've learned and captured
Mm.
and turned into a business.
So many. Let's start with Nelson Nash. That's one. Infinite banking, infinity banking concept. Nelson Nash. The two other books I showed you guys last week. That was what was the Rockefellers do? I
Right.
forgot who the author of that was, and the other book was The Laser Fund by Doug Andrews, and that discusses how to best position and design your life insurance policy to work most efficiently for you. So
So,
those three books are the main ones that I've read, but I have gotten my financial literacy education from my insurance company. So they have broken some things down, but even what they said was still missing some pieces. And so I had to take all of those things that I read, and I've read more. I have articles, I have other things. But I had to take the best of those informations and kind of piece them together to make the best plan. Everything is stuck in a tradition. So if you have to break the mold, you have to do some things differently. And based on all the information that I got, this was the best way to do it, where you can still function, you can still live, and you can still have something for the future.
okay. Awesome. Um, so, okay, one of the things I wanted to get to talking about credit scores, but before I do that,
Hmm.
uh, I wanted to ask you what are some of the uh, basic things? If so, say for instance, because we're all in relationships, and on the show we talk about the mind, body, and the spirit.
Hmm.
Okay, and the mind and the body and the spirit all exist here, and so we have to feed the body, we have to feed the mind. So when things like money become a stressor,
Mm.
it affects and impacts all relationships, how you treat your children, how you treat your spouse, how you feel about going into work, whether you got road rage in the
Hmm.
morning when you're trying to get there on time just so you can be miserable all day. It's a lot of
Absolutely.
stuff going on. Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts.
Hmm.
Um, and so when we're talking about relationship and how money affects relationships, when you're discussing with your mate or spouse or significant other for the first time, and you finally get to this place where you're going to take them,
Hmm.
where okay, we're sitting side by side. You're beautiful, I love you, but your credit is jacked up, sweetie, we
Jacked
got to
up.
fix it.
Get
Yeah,
jacked.
so the conversations that have to happen are what's concerning me, because I know the traditions and the
Hmm.
mindset is already like, I'm not, and I was there. I'm not showing you my credit report.
Hmm.
Um, and then I got educated. He said, well, there's nothing we can do if I can't trust you with the most important thing besides you, which is the
Hmm.
tools that we need to go the places and do the things that we want to do. If we're not going to be on the same page here, then why are we even taking the time to be together? What are we
Right.
doing here?
Right.
So,
What is the goal?
yeah, what do you think about that?
Again, the indoctrination is speaking a major way because of what is more popular nowadays, especially for the younger people. But even
Mhm.
that can be used as an incentive. If you meet a person and y'all like to travel or something, or y'all don't want to follow the traditional lifestyle, and you want to go all over the world and raise your kids in different countries and all that kind of stuff, that's a great thing. And there can be a plan for that. We are not at enmity with one another if we decide to be together at the same time. So a choice has to be made. It's a hypocritical thought that you could be in a relationship with someone and keep something from them if we're supposed to
Right.
be totally open. So that's another mindset change.
Right.
The Real Housewives concept that, oh, he can just pay whatever and I can just do whatever, or she can just pay whatever and I can do whatever, and everybody's supposed to be happy about it. It's a dream. It's unrealistic.
Yeah.
That's why it's a TV show. Nobody lives like
Yeah.
that for real.
It's unreal.
So
It's not realistic
come
whatsoever. No house.
coming
First of all, no woman would act like that. No wife would definitely act like that. It's just girl actors or
but it's
something, you
but
know.
it's but it's making an impact and
But
an
it's yes,
impression on
exactly.
the value of money in relationships. So it has had a negative effect. Like post my age, it has had a negative effect. We can see it. And so what I would suggest to anybody is find your mutual financial goals, because that would definitely sway which type of decisions that you made with money. So I would sit down and say, what are your plans for your future? Not how much money are you going to make and what are you going to do for me and what happens if this goes wrong? Not that type of thing. What is it that you
You're
want to do
skipping the
with your
beginning.
money?
Right.
What do you want to do with your money for everything that you're working for? What are you interested in doing with it? What would you like to see? That's a whole different question.
Conversation, yeah.
That's not what will you do for me, or what do you expect me to do for you? What are you
Woo!
interested in?
Yes.
Because you might find out, oh, this person is super simple. It's not going to cost them much at all. Or,
Mhm.
oh, we're going to have to make some different decisions because they have some different expectations. I might have to rise to the occasion to accommodate that. Or that's something I know I can't handle. If we did that in a more comfortable way
Mhm.
and conversational way instead of expectation, we probably could get even more information from that. We
Absolutely.
need
So
to be
you
friends in that conversation.
right. Agreed. And so you have a relationship that starts out with the fundamentals being already addressed,
Hmm.
and then somebody
You
comes
know where you're
to
going. You know where you're
yeah.
going.
And so then you have an idea, and you okay, wait a minute, let's go back. So no,
Hmm.
it's not we know where we're going. We know that we have someone that we can work
Hmm.
with or someone we cannot work with.
True.
We are
True.
going in the same direction. If
True.
you're heading in two unequally yoked, you're heading two different directions. You're just not going to go anywhere. You're going to snap.
Hmm. Hmm. And
So
sometimes and
you
sometimes that happens just on
mhm,
the area of finance. Everything else falls into place, but when it comes to money, everything falls apart. So that's why it's so important to bring that up. Somebody has to pay for the date that you're on when you're having this conversation. It can start
well,
right there
definitely agreed.
in the
Listen,
beginning of the
listen,
relation.
huh?
I
What was
said
that?
in the beginning of the relationship.
You made a valid point. You know, here's the other piece though. What happens when and you just said that it's important in the relationship, but what happens when one person in the relationship realizes I can't do that and they have to part ways.
Hmm.
If you if if you have the understanding to go along with and you okay, so for instance we find the right partner,
Hmm.
you have a tool that a pair or a couple who is going somewhere in the same direction financially and because I believe the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So
Right.
if you're cheating in the finances, you're probably cheating somewhere else too,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
vice versa.
Hmm.
But that's me. That's you don't have to believe that concept.
It can be
But
valid.
tell me about it. So so here you are and you get with someone and you're going in the right direction. You
Hmm.
have an idea where you want to go. And then they come to you, Infinite Legacy, and they figure out how we're going to plan our entire life for ourselves, our children, our parents.
Hmm.
That's somewhere we've never been. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother level of life living for me.
Yeah. And it's common outside of our community. Let me tell
Yes.
y'all something. Let me drop something. We can blame housing discrimination on a number of factors that may be valid. But let me let you know what the main reason why. It's hard for us to get homes because we are less likely to receive an inheritance to pay the house off. That's how important generational wealth is. It has nothing to do with your money that you make. It has everything to do with how much that they expect you would have during your lifetime. So if something happened to my parent And I knew that was common in my community to have life insurance. Oh yeah, sure, sure. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna get so and such and such hundreds of thousands of dollars. That house will get paid off, no problem. When it comes to
Hmm.
us, they only sold us burial insurance. So there is
Wow.
no policy, there is no wealth, there is no death benefit to the beneficiary. This is the real culprit of the lack of financial wealth that we have. And those insurance companies were built off the backs of slaves. I just
Yikes.
found that out.
Whew.
MetLife, New York Life, all these different companies, that's how they made their money. So it's more than just the houses, it's more than just the labor, it's more than just the neighborhoods, it's more than just home ownership, it's more than just bank loans. It's the actual paper that passes this to the next generation. We only had this, just a little flimsy piece of paper, just enough to put them in the ground, and that's it. So we got to catch up. So when we're talking about couples and bringing people together, this is the way we have to establish that. We have to build our fig trees. It's very important.
Wow. Now you, well, okay, give me a minute. My
I'm
mind just
sorry.
got
I'm
blown.
sorry. I'm sorry because this is my passion, so I get excited. I'm sorry.
And look, there's no reason for anybody to disbelieve it. And we know it's true and it's provable now. So, but the idea that people, companies do this stuff, those are just a few companies and those are just a few industries. What about all the others?
Exactly. That's what I'm
Um,
saying. We never know how deep the rabbit hole goes on how we've been impacted. So we can research all day, but what are we going to do about it?
wow. Well,
That's
you've
the
done a
that's the
lot of
rub.
research.
A lot. Because I wanted to know. I wanted to know and understand it. Once I read the books of the traditional way that things are supposed to be done, it seemed so common sense. I had to figure out why it wasn't happening to us. And once I realized the mythos of y'all are only approved for burial expense and what it has done to my community, just in the family members that I know about, is devastating. Especially when I
Wow.
know the potential of how it could build generational wealth.
Hmm.
So there's no way that I could keep that information to myself now knowing that it was purposefully kept from us. So I have to share.
Well, I'm appalled, and I know we don't have a whole lot of time left,
Hmm.
but I do want to address some of the things that are obvious now. The beautiful part about what you've done is you've gone back and figured out and found out what the history
Hmm.
behind the malice,
Yes.
the
Yes.
malicious uh, economics, basically, goings on in corporate America that and we look at call it discrimination. Well, it really is, but it's a financial discrimination
Yes.
more so than it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I noticed this is just me talking. This is
Hmm.
my opinion again. A lot of times, when I was growing up, I heard people tell as a young woman about credit scores. I thought it was. I never looked at them. I never cared.
Hmm.
But I noticed when I was older and credit became important to my life, and thanks to my husband, I mean, I'm cool,
Hmm.
solvent and everything, and my credit score is fine, um, is good. But I noticed that
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
a lot of what I've seen is that when certain people started getting things and becoming wealthy, the credit score guidelines changed.
Yes. Yes.
I wasn't imagining that. That's real?
No, not at all. That's real.
Oh,
For the
wow.
same purposes that I spoke about for,
Right.
for, for the life insurance. Whatever the criteria is based on your ability to have some way to eliminate the debt, whether that be
Wow.
credit or anything else, a house, anything else. It all factors in. Y'all excuse my baby for being loud.
So
Um,
so go ahead.
no, I just wanted to make another point that is another predatory method to keep us from having the wealth or gaining access to what it would take to get the wealth. We have a hard time getting business funding. We have a hard time opening businesses. Most times our businesses are undercapitalized. That comes from a lack of business funding. Those are the same people that give out credit, the same people that run the banks. So we have to understand so that we can fight back. It's not something that's happening to us and there's nothing that we can do about it. And that's what I'm
Wow.
here for. We can do something about it.
This is refreshing, and thank you for being here to do these things.
No
Um,
problem. This is what I do. This is what I do.
so, building business credit is very different from building personal credit. I just took a business course, and I'm actually taking a certification
Mhm.
now. And it's interesting because they're saying that it's so easy to get this money, but the process to start, you need a class to just understand how to fill out these forms.
In
um,
order to start for business credit, they would ask if you don't have a perfect credit, if you don't have your own collateral, they would ask for you to be the personal guarantor for your business funding.
well, then that doesn't sound fair. If I could afford to be my own personal guarantor, what do I need you for?
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with the amount of money. What they want to know is how trustworthy is the person that we're extending the credit to. Because the LLC or a business is an entity, it has to be something on paper. If it's not, then they'll come to the owner of the business and say, before I give you $100,000 for your business, how's your credit?
Right.
So it's very important that our credit be where it is, even if we have a business and further disconnect from that, which is the proper thing to do, to get everything out of our names. You still want to have your credit in order because that's going to be the final checkoff. You're going to be the final say
Okay.
just to
So
start. Now, once your business ages and produces its own paydex score, then yours will no longer be a factor. But in order to get everything started and get a significant amount of money from a financial institution, they are going to ask you for a PG or a personal guarantor, and you want that credit score to be right.
okay. What is a liquid credit card, Bianca? Liquid credit
This is
card.
my favorite thing. This is my I don't know. I don't know. Um should I let me say something about credit first before we talk about the liquid credit card. Um
Okay.
First of all, know what's on your credit. Pull your credit report. I have a link for that. Pull your credit report, challenge inaccuracies. Make sure you have a proper credit mix. Make sure you have the proper percentages of credit accounts on your report. Make sure that all your stuff is accurate. If there's anything up there that is wrong, get it off. Be aware of your consumer reporting rights. The way that your credit report is made is partly under your control. You can determine what you want reported and what you don't. And if somebody reports something without your permission, that's something that you can fight. So if it's something that's old that's been up there, or it's something that's not right and they don't want to take it off or anything like that, we have a service for that where we actually challenge the accuracy of how the report is reported, not what's on it, how it's reported. If it's reported inaccurately, we will send it to have it removed. Um, and that allows you to only pay the debts that are accurate that you need to be paying. Don't just be sending money out because somebody said that they owed you. Find out if it's a legitimate debt. Find out if they have your information accurate. Find out if they send stuff to the right address. These are all things that we can do to control what's happening around us. We don't have to just be victims by circumstance. We can no, that's not accurate. No, that was paid off. No, that needs to be removed. Y'all need help with that? We have the software. And then when you talk about what the result of that is, at least you're going from your accurate credit score, your most accurate
Right.
credit score. I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what's on my report. I know exactly what I need to pay off, and that way you can line up those goals that you have set to eliminate those things. But in order to eliminate the debt, um, we have to have a tool, and that is the last D in the DICE acronym. That stands for debt
Right.
tool. That would be, oh, I wish I brought that money up here. That would be, um, let me see, like a mini bank, I would say, for you to be able to make your debt more efficient. I'm gonna have to explain that. So I don't know how deep you want me to go before you stop me, because that's deep.
Well, go ahead.
Okay.
We need
So,
this.
okay. The liquid credit card is a simple interest calculated, unsecured revolving line of credit. The benefits of it are lower cost, so it doesn't cost as much to use. It's not a loan. It has a longer term of time on it. It's liquid, but there are no balance transfers. And it, like I said, it'll operate as a mini bank. It is an additional trade line and it helps build your credit over time. So, this is my example. Let's say you had $11,000 of debt in total, right? You got a car you want to pay off, right? So, this is this, let me use this. This is your debt weapon. Okay. This right here is worth $25,000.
A debt weapon, like a
A
gun.
debt weapon, yes.
Okay.
Because we're gonna
All
kill
right.
the debt. We are
You-
slaying debt. Okay, so
Okay.
this is my little debt sword, right? So this right here is worth $25,000. We have $11 worth of debt. We are making payments of, let's say, $450 a month on that $11,000 of debt with a high
Mhm.
interest rate and a really high payment, and it's draining our cash flow. What do we do? This is the $11,000. We take the 25 and we get it out of the way and we pay
Wow.
that off. And we have not that loan anymore and an extra $450 in our pockets every month
Wow.
by
Wow.
using your own credit. And that's the other reason why you want to have a good score, because you can take bad debt and money that's draining you and take it back. I don't want to pay $450 a month anymore. I'm tired of making this payment. They're charging me astronomical amounts of interest. I'm not going to refinance it and restart the clock on my debt. I'm going to eliminate it. That is a detailed plan. It takes a mapping. That's a consultation as far as the details of how that would work in your situation. But the overall picture is that you're using good debt to eliminate bad debt
Bad debt.
to
So
reclaim your cash flow.
is this, you told me once about velocity
That is
banking?
velocity banking. Yes, that is a
That's what you
technique.
just described.
Yes, yes,
Oh yeah. Now
yes.
look, let me ask you this. Okay, I know that you do credit repair,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Yes,
Um, and you do a financial planning,
yes.
correct? Well, I know you do it all, but just trying to make sure. Do you teach classes?
I will be
Okay,
soon.
all
I
right.
will be.
Good God.
I think I need to. I think I want to have a little gathering of people who are like-minded and want to know more about it, so that we
Hmm.
can volunteer our numbers, give examples, and see how
Hmm.
these things can work in real time. Because it's one thing just to give you the overall picture, but as you're probably going through, I got to pay this, I owe this, I owe this, I owe that. That takes some time. And so
Hmm.
if we can have an assigned time to all gather together, and this is what I have going on, and bro, this is what I have going on, and sis, this is what I have going on, and we can solve those problems together. That information is powerful and it can be replicated over and over again, which is my overall goal. I want to share and tag somebody else and help them to share so that we can build our fig trees.
Wow. So so that the debt to income ratio, the debt reduces over time, and you can get to enjoy more of your life while you're still young,
Yeah.
right?
But listen, the reason why the income ratio is so important, I'm sure all of us have an idea. But what ends up happening is, as we lower our debt to income ratio, yes, it improves our credit, but it also gives us more of our money back. We don't have as much debt to income. So there's a gap there between the debt and the income. What is that? That's your
Okay,
that's your wealth.
absolutely. I'm listening. I'm all ears because
So,
I've never heard it put this way before. It's beautiful. I, the the way it's set up. Now let me ask you this.
mhm,
Say for instance, I'm in a position. I'm going to get $50,000. It could be, I don't know, a gift or an inheritance or whatever.
mhm,
I want to buy a home.
okay,
I still have living parents. I still have children at home, small
mhm,
children.
mhm,
Um, I want to have maybe two or three vehicles for my children.
mhm,
Um, I want to have my own business. I want a lot of things, but those are the five things that I want to do.
right.
How do I make that $50,000 help me to set up all of the things that I need in place to get this done?
Mm. That is a great question.
And is that a good number to give you?
That's a great number. Any number
Okay.
is a great number because
And
any
I know
number
you
can be
can do it, but
compounded.
can you tell me without me having to, without billing me
I'll do you a
a
favor.
fee?
I'm on your show. I'll do you a favor. So, so the thing about it is, it doesn't matter how much money is starting out to be. The goal is to make it compound.
Okay.
So we don't want to take the 50,000 and go back down to zero by spending the 50,000. We
Right.
want to take the 50,000 and grow it some more,
Okay.
right? And
Right.
then even when we earn something on the 50,000, we still don't take the 50,000. We earn some more.
Yeah.
That is compound growth. That is compound interest. That's what we want. So in your case, I would tell you to put your money and overfund your life insurance policy to accelerate the growth, the rate of growth of your cash value and turn that 50,000 into more than 50,000. And then when you make something off the 50,000, you can have that, but guess what's still in your wealth? $50,000. That's still
Wow.
growing. So let's not spend thousands of dollars. Let's grow thousands of dollars.
I love it.
Tree.
Like the tree. Water the tree. The tree will give you fruit.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
And when
I
we can
mean, this is
understand the power of compound interest, it will definitely change the timing and the rashness of the decisions that we make because we
mhm,
have to evaluate, is this going to make me some money? Or is this going to cost me some money? Because remember, like we said at the beginning, we're not working for money anymore. We're making our money work for us. So if the dollar is not going to work, it's a wasted dollar. This is why
whew,
reclaiming your cash flow is important. This is why making sure your credit is right. If you get qualified for anything over $150,000 for life insurance, it has to have a credit check. You want to make sure that you have your debt tools in place that when something comes against you, another way a debt tool could be used, if I may.
right.
Same example. Let's say, like I said last week, you want to buy a car. You put $50,000 in your life insurance policy. The cash value has accrued to a certain amount. Instead of you going and asking a bank
Hmm.
that's going to charge you interest